Hi, welcome to Gene Rants. I'm Gene. And well, give me a minute. I just got to check something. I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. As you know, the reason I went to the window is, as we all know, the government was shut down. So I just went to the window to see if the sky was falling. And it wasn't. The sky is still up there, even though the government has been shut down for a whole day. But that's what we're going to talk about today. The government shutdown, or as it's becoming known, the Schumer shutdown, Chuck Schumer shutdown. And as the Speaker of the House, Mike Johnson, was on TV earlier today. This is the day before you're seeing this. And he said the obvious. Everybody knows that this is the same. It's what they call a clean continuing resolution, where Democrats and Republicans cannot agree on a budget. So continuing resolution, it's not, well, Chuck Schumer's calling for that Democrats were not consulted. It should be bipartisan. Well, they don't have to be consulted because it's not bipartisan. It's nonpartisan. It's just a clean bill that just keeps the government running for another 45 days or so. Just keeps it running exactly as it is. No new programs to please Democrats, but no cuts in programs to please Republicans. Just a clean bill. And the irony, of course, is that Chuck Schumer, among other Democrats, voted for the identical bill back in March. Everybody knows what's going on here, which is that when he voted, basically caved in, voted and got other Democrats to vote with him for the continuing resolution back in March. He got a lot of pushback from the crazy wing of his party, which is increasingly becoming the majority wing of the Democratic Party. But the squad, the Alexandria Ocasio Cortez, or in the Senate, because we're talking about the Senate, you got the Bernie Sanders crowd. But the reason I mention Alexandria Ocasio Cortez, even though she's in the House, is because Chuck Schumer is scared to death that she is going to primary him the next time, in the next election where Schumer is up for re-election. And the polls, last poll I saw, and I think there's been more than one, shows her beating him. And so he is trying to save his candidacy or save his job by siding with the far left of his party, and this time opposing the same CR, the continuing resolution CR, that he voted for in March. And also, Mike Johnson, Speaker of the House, has actually put a screen out in front of his office showing Chuck Schumer from 1996 and several other Democrats too, including Alexandria Ocasio Cortez, railing against a government shutdown. This is back in, Schumer is all the way back in 1996, but Ocasio-Cortez obviously a lot sooner, but saying how bad, of course, this is when the Democrats were in charge, of course, and saying how bad it would be, how evil it would be to shut down the government. And and to their credit, John Fetterman and Angus Young, he's an independent actually, but he caucuses. He's from Delaware. He either Rhode Island or Delaware. I believe it's Delaware. Anyways, he's an independent. He caucuses with the Democrats. So those two voted for the CR, but it wasn't enough to carry it. 6 more Democrats are going to have to change their vote. Or one Republican, the only Republican who voted against it, as usual, Rand Paul. And maybe we'll talk about him someday. But he's technically a Republican, but he's actually a libertarian. God help us if we're ever governed by libertarians. But though I would take a libertarian over a Democrat. Anyways, so we have this government shutdown, and Democrats, or Chuck Schumer, to save his own job, he's really painted the the Democrats into a corner. They're going to have egg on their face. It's easy to see how this is going to, what the denouement is going to be, which is that the Democrats are going to cave. They already are getting the blame for the shutdown, and basically the Chuck Schumer and the Democrats are saying that they want to gut or reverse the big beautiful bill. They want an additional $1 trillion in spending, actually more than that, in exchange for not shutting the government down, or I guess, and then by now as a price of reopening the government. So there's nothing there. But the problem they run into, the trap that they've got, this is something yesterday I said I got something I've really been wishing for decades, which is a Secretary of War, not defense anymore, who would banish all the wokeness from the military. And now I'm getting something else, looks like very soon, unless the Democrats come to their senses and realize the corner they painted themselves into. But a president who would use the a government shutdown to just fire people and just reduce the size of the government. If the money's not there, then things have to be eliminated. I was thinking also of these programs like the study homosexuality or gender fluidity among honeybees, or all these ridiculous things that are getting funded, or building bridges to nowhere in blue districts, or red, for that matter, red districts too, anywhere. So I've been hoping for that, and now, to me, it would seem natural, because now you have the Democrats are the ones who want to spend money, so they are hurt by the elimination of these programs. But for a Republican, that's what we're supposed to. That's why God created us, to cut spending and to keep spending from going up too much, and ideally, possible, but ideally to cut spending, lean government, limited government. So we finally have a president I've been waiting for in a long time. As I said in the past, sometimes I praise Trump, sometimes I pan him. I have a big problem with, just like the people who have TDS and just oppose everything Trump does. There's another term I came up with, so you must give me credit, TSS, Trump sycophancy, sycophancy syndrome, which is supporting everything that Trump does. And you got to use a little common sense. You're never going to get a president unless you're just being so partisan. It's hard to get a president who's going to do everything that you want. But one thing I'm happy that we have is a president who is, Trump has already said, I'm going to start not just furloughing. Well, he started now with the furloughing, but I'm not just going to furlough people and bring them back. I'm going to fire people. I'm going to get rid of positions. I'm going to start with, or focus on, things that the Democrats like, that the Democrats especially want. So they're going to be hurt by this. And this all brings me to Rahm Emanuel. If you don't remember who he is, he's a former, his last position was mayor of Chicago before the guy that they have now, Johnson, who's just terrible. But anyways, another story for another day. And who cares? I don't live in Chicago, thank God. But the Rahm Emanuel, before that, he was Obama's chief of staff in the beginning of Obama's first term. And Obama, as you may recall, was elected. One of the reasons he got elected was because we were having the subprime crisis, big financial crisis, and that helped elect him, because there was a Republican. Bush happened to be in office when the crisis started, so you blame the party in power often, and that's what brought him in. So you had this financial crisis, and Rahm Emanuel said his famous quote, I think I've got almost exactly, "You do not want to let a major crisis go to waste," something like that. Don't Don't let a crisis go to waste. The point is that when there's a crisis in the government and you want to expand government or do something, often or sometimes you can do something that you would not have been able to do without a crisis. To kind of put the I guess it was FDR, Franklin Roosevelt, who originated this. He came in the Great Depression, and that's how he got the New Deal. He said, I need 100 days to pretty much do whatever I want, and he did. And we're living with some of the results still to this day. And by the way, a lot of what he did prolonged the Depression. People forget, because it was so brief, there was a deep recession during the Warren Harding term, and because massive inflation had to do with the end of World War One. You don't need the details for now. The point is, though, that he and Harding and his, I don't remember who he was, it wasn't Mellon, I don't remember who was the chairman of the Federal Reserve at that time. So what they did together was that the Federal Reserve reduced interest rates, and Harding cut spending and with Congress, cut the income tax. And just a year later, unemployment, believe me, you're going to find this hard to believe, but the unemployment rate declined to 1.5%. That was the right thing to do. But then you had, and actually Hoover started it. He was the idea that was the thing, one of the ironies, because FDR said what Hoover was doing was wrong, which was the massive government intervention, that government could engineer the economy and cure recessions, when all you had to do was cut taxes, cut regulations. And now that I think of it, I could be wrong about interest rates, so don't hold me to that. Now I think about that, the Federal Reserve, but definitely Harding cut taxes and worked with Congress to cut regulations. Anyways, getting back to Hoover. Hoover said he was called the engineer. He did great work as agriculture secretary. So when the stock market crashed in '29, massive, and then you had the Smoot-Hawley tariffs and all these things. So FDR came in, but really doubled down on what Hoover did. You had this massive government intervention in the economy. I guess I'm on. That's why it's called Gene Rants. I go off on all these things. There was something, believe it or not, there was something called the sick chicken law. That was what it was called. I don't remember the exact term, but they called it the sick chicken law. And what was a sick? This is how much the government was. They wanted to save the economy. They wanted chicken raisers, farmers, to be able to sell all their chickens and the retail. So what they had was a sick chicken law. In those days, believe it or not, even as recently, and even up during the Franklin Roosevelt administration in the 1930s, by then still refrigeration was not universal. Electricity was not universal either. That was one of the great things that expanding electricity. That was one of the great things that Roosevelt did. That was very good. But the sick chicken law was that those days they didn't have refrigeration. So if you when you buy chicken, you would go to the butcher and they had actually live chickens, and the live chickens would you would pick out the chicken that you wanted, and then the butcher would take this, and bam, cut off the neck, whatever, pluck it, and then you get your chicken, right? And so but people would pick out obviously the best chicken. They'd look at the best chickens and they would pick the best chicken. And some of the chickens, I guess, the really sickly chickens, no one would buy them. So there was a sick chicken law that you had to, when you bought your chicken, you were required by law to buy the chicken closest to the cage opening. Whatever you opened the cage, and whatever chicken was right there, was close, that was the one that you had to buy. You didn't have a choice. So I wonder if you had people try to, like butchers or people try to scare the sick chicken near the door, try to scare them away or something, get a healthy chicken, to come up to the door. That case went all the way, believe it or not, to the Supreme Court. And it was the Supreme Court that started that struck that down. Said, hey, basically that's just ridiculous, that law. And well, don't get me started on it. There's another law, Wickard. It has to do with wheat, Wickard versus Filburn. Another one, I don't think that one, never mind. Anyways, so getting back to don't let a crisis go to waste. So that was Rahm Emanuel's mantra to Obama. Well, don't let the crisis go to waste. This financial crisis. Let's get a lot of stuff passed that we ordinarily would not be able, or just accomplish things we would not ordinarily be able to do. And that's what I'm saying. What's sauce for the goose is sauce for the gander. Now you have Trump. We have a government shutdown because of the Democrats. They are responsible for the shutdown, and Trump should take advantage of it. He should take advantage of it. And as he said, already said he's going to do, so I support it, which is to start cutting fat out of the government. But don't just furlough people who will come back, because that's what's been happening in the past. People say your local postman, so he wouldn't get paid, but he would be on the job, and when the government reopened, he would get all his back pay. So no, fire everybody. That's it. Not only do you not get your pay when the government shuts down, well, you won't get back pay when the government reopens because you will have been fired, right? Or maybe just for the 2 days or whatever before Trump fired you. So that's a great idea. But what I really mean, or most important about this, don't let a crisis go to waste. Remember Elon Musk and DOGE. Elon Musk was called in to, the Trump appointed him remember, Musk worked for free, brought a lot of smart people into work for free to find programs and positions to cut to downsize the government. And some of them got into the big, beautiful bill, but a lot of them did not get into it. The idea was, I'm still waiting for this, cross my fingers, that will be another reconciliation bill to cut even more. But Trump has been, Democrats on a silver platter basically have given him a line item veto in effect, but mainly just given him this, don't let a crisis go to waste. They've created a crisis of the Democrats' own making, and Trump should use it to cut the spending. And what he should do is bring back take a look at this photo. The reason I put up that photo is because, as you may know, there was a little falling out, a little loss of love between the bromance between Trump and Musk. But as you see in that photo, they met. That was the Charlie Kirk Memorial, and they met and shook hands, and it looks like everything is, the lovers have made up. Those two lovebirds have made up, and Trump should bring them back. You wanted all these, you had all these cuts that you suggested, and you were angry. That's why the lovers broke up, because he said, because so many of the cuts that Musk recommended were not made, but now there's a golden opportunity to have them made. Musk should offer, if he's not invited by Trump, Musk should offer to come back and say, well, you got this goal. Let's not let this crisis go to waste. Let's start making all the cuts. You don't need Congress. Just go ahead and make them. Just go ahead and make them. The money's not there for all these programs. There are certain essential programs that we have to keep running. So let's just get rid of all the non-essential programs. And that is my idea. Now, I would love to hear your thoughts, and if you would like to share them, there's a comment section below the video. Share this video with anyone you think would benefit from it. But most of all, come back and see me again. I'd love to see all of you again. And until I do see all of you again, oh, did I say subscribe? Subscribe. That's very important, because I love you all, and I would love you to subscribe. So I know to increase the chances that I would get to see you 5 days a week when I do my vlogs. Anyways, that's it for today. Thanks for stopping by. Look forward to seeing you again. And until I do see all of you again, bye.